Welcome back, guys. It's middle of December now, and I'll tell you what, I'm trying to give a video out here that you might enjoy the fact that I'll be answering a lot of the questions I get from comments are how to basically become more efficient with their scouting, especially this time of year. The reason is a lot of our gun seasons throughout the United States here is shut down, slow but sure now. You know, it's winding down. You got late bow season yet, which I'll be scouting for now too. And I just want to give some maybe a few tips here that may help you in regards to saving some time on where you're at in larger areas like this here in upper Midwest, out east, even out west, all the lake states, wherever it may be, where they're having problems trying to figure out, even though they have it on maps, whether it be on their phones, on X, whatever it may be. The fact is that they still have to walk out there and find out what it looks like. And here's the main consensus that I'm finding out from a lot of guys, is the fact that when they get out there, after a period of time, their brain starts shutting down. Mental fatigue sets in. And what I mean by this is just my way of doing things when I scout all these years. I don't go past 2 to 3 hours. I just don't. I go out there to a new area. Like this is a new area. This was a new area for me gun hunting. Okay? And the point is the fact that I will go out, look at an area, I'll go home and sort it out. Because you know what happens after a couple hours? You see this country, it's hills. This is a very unique area that I'm going to be exploring more and more. When you got a lot of hills, you become physically tired. And the biggest thing is mental fatigue. After a couple of hours, you know what happens? I watch when I take guys out. They start just wandering around. They're not quite sure. That first hour that you're out scouting, you're sharp. Man, you're on top of it. You're looking for trails. You're looking for bedding. You're looking for signposts. You're looking for feeding. You're looking for everything that you have studied on and remembered through life. Okay? And that's the same with me. I go through there. It's like, and a lot of times, you find an area within that first hour or so, you keep going just to find out what's over the next hill, whatever it may be. You're going to come back. A lot of times, you will come back to that same first area and say, that was my best spot. Because you were sharp. It's common sense, guys. It's common sense that you're looking out in these areas and you're in tune that first hour or two. Really in tune for it. Now, the next thing that comes into play is the fact that a lot of people just want to live and die on that particular public land. They say that's it. I don't care if there's deer or not. That's fine if they want to. The point is, sometimes you have to make a decision after a certain period of time that, okay, I got to move on to somewhere else. This just isn't showing me enough. And that's the same with what I do. Now, I'm going in here, and if I don't find something in the next hour and a half, I'm out of here. Now, here's what took place, just to give you a quick little synopsis. Right before gun season, which was our gun season here in Wisconsin, is during the Thanksgiving week, basically. I came out here gun hunting. I thought, this is a neat area. I'm going to try it out. It's all thousands of acres, nobody around. So I thought, I'll try it. On Tuesday, right behind me here, coming off this ridge right here, I passed up a doe. I have a permit, but I held on to it. There was a nice doe. So that was encouraging. That was a Tuesday. Wednesday, I come back out here, and I'm on a track, tracking what I figure was a nice buck. And where did he take me? Right below here in this ravine. He took me through there. And I continued on his way with him. And it wasn't much, just a corridor between two steep hills. He was on his way out. Meaning, you always have to ask yourself why. When you're in an area, why was he doing that? Why wasn't he staying? He was on a steady walk. He was leaving either to go back to his core area or to go to his wintering grounds. Up here, we have a lot of areas where they move out due to the snowfall, go to thermal protection in swamps, what have you. He obviously was moving out. I followed him and he just kept going throughout in the open woods, but it's steady. So he was leaving. Now, why was he here? Breeding areas. Now, I had a doe the day before I passed up, so obviously he was here for breeding purposes, but he was leaving. He was done. That was Wednesday. Thanksgiving comes. I thought, well, I'm going to pursue this a little farther. So I stepped back in, went a little farther down. and I got my buck within an hour. Now that, okay, at that point, I still asked why. Why was that buck there? And down farther this way was another buck that headed out. And there were two different bucks, I could tell. From the one I shot was an average buck. He was not the one I was following, believe me. So they were here for a reason. Okay, so there you ask yourself, is it worth coming back again? Immediately, I'm gutting out that buck. I'm thinking, I'm coming back here to check for bow hunting. Typically, everybody is different. When I gun hunt, I'm looking for bow hunting spots. I'll be very honest with you. And this area looks like something I may pursue. But that's where we're going to continue on to find. What I want to show you at this point is why I get to the point of saying 2-3 hours, that's it. So this is my last draw. Okay, fine, there was a buck here, another buck, there's a doe. That's encouraging. Is that just it? Was that a fluke in this big woods? There's only so many deer per square mile, guys. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go find out a little farther here now, a couple hours worth, to see what was holding these bucks. It was their does obviously here. What's holding them? Where's feeding? What's in this area that kept them there? And if I don't find anything, like right now, I'm not finding anything to really jump over joy for. They have some oaks here on this ridge. The unique point that I see in the topography, the layout of the land here, is steep bottoms, comes up, and it flattens out on top. Oh, excuse me, maybe, oh, crumbs, 20 acres, 30 acres wide, but a long strip of flat, and it has some oaks on it. Now I'm going down in this one, coming back up to the next one over there. Let's see if it continues, but all the walking I've done up to this point, it goes down, it comes back up to a flat. Not a hog's back, anything like that, just a flat. And it seems like there's some oaks in this area, but not enough to have any sign up here of bucks working it, other than maybe they come up here for feeding purposes. But what's holding them? You want a bigger country, you got to get them to congregate. Where are they congregating here? For breeding purposes. These bucks were here for a reason. Got to find out maybe where they were. And if it just spread out too much, forget it. I'll move on to some other country. But that's what I'm getting at, guys. You have to keep asking yourself why. Why were they here? Why are they not here? Okay? So what we're going to do, let's take another walk over a little farther down. We'll go up on top of the next hill. Let's see what's on that ridge. See if it flattens out like this one. We'll take it from there, okay? All right, so let's do it. Okay, guys, we're on the other ridge now. That's where we were over in that area talking before. There's your drainage bottom. And now we're back up on top here on the next ridge. Little different, little more cover if you notice. More young white pines. We have some mature white pines over here giving off young ones here. Little more cover. Not sure, but it's the same type of topography up here. It is flattened off on top. Really unique, instead of just a quick ridge and that's it. So we'll have to see what's living up in this area now. Were they coming up through here? Now I got to start looking for buck signs from the fall, obviously. A lot of these areas, they move out for the winter. Oh, that's a sure sign right there. That's sort of nice. Fresh droppings. So he was in here in the last day or two. So all we can do is keep going. We're right along the edge of this ridge now, just to see what's up here, basically. You can see through here, you know, just spaced out pine trees so far. Nothing to jump out at us yet. Nothing to where they can get together. I'm looking for an area where they're breeding it, actually. See what area is bringing these deer together. I don't know. Starting to snow nice. Beautiful day out here. Still going along. It's opening up a little bit back in that area. But see, it's quite wide before it drops down into the next bottom again. Now see, this tells me they're bedding in this area somewhere, whoever this guy is. That's pretty fresh. He's bedding in this area somewhere. So there's a couple of deer holding up in this area yet before they leave for the winter. There again, in a winter like this, it's obviously hard to find trails. You can't find scrapes. So all you can do is just go along and see if it's worthwhile for next year. Or even late season if we have a condensed trail here somewhere. Now see, look at it. She opened up a little more. But nothing yet jumping out at us. A couple deer, but big deal. That's not much to talk about yet. I see we're still going along the edge here. There's that bottom that buck took me on Wednesday. He continued on his way all the way through and just kept right on going on out. What do we got here? Nothing yet. A few tracks, rows. That's about it, guys. We'll keep going. I cut in off the ridge a little bit, coming inside a little bit, and I think I'm on a trail of some sort here. And it's looking like this is my first active sign that a buck was here this fall. What's interesting, it looks pretty bare yet, that scrape. Look at that. And this is mid-December. I don't know. We'll have to continue on and see what that's all about. Okay, guys. I'm at the back end of this top ridge here. It probably was, oh, crumps. I started about 100 acres ago. Now it's turning. You can see where it's ending right here now. And then it drops down in that bottom again. I just noticed something as I got to this area. Tracks, and a bed. Right there. Look where he's at. Right on the edge. Right on the edge of this. Now what's interesting here, I know this may bring up comments, but you know where I'm at? I'm on the north side. You know, we do hear a lot. Yes, majority of deer on the south side of a slope. Here's another bed right here. Okay? The very north end. Looking down, watching over there. I've seen it both ways. I'll be very honest with you. I've seen it both ways. North and south. If you want to go on generalities, yes, maybe the south-facing slopes. Maybe a higher percentage. But guys, I see them on the north end too, just like you're seeing right here. There was absolutely no reason here other than on the other side where we came up. They could have been bedded there. No, they want it here. They can drop down if there's anything happening. They can go down in that area. So we found a couple beds anywhere. That looks like about a day or two old because we've been getting snow every day now a little bit. They look pretty fresh. That's neat. So we know we got a few deer do come up here. Now there again, we'd have to follow up in the spring, see what all takes place here. Let's go a little farther. But what's holding them up here? I'm still asking why. Why are they here yet? I haven't answered that yet to myself. We're still on that north end up here looking around. Well, a little bit more activity. There's more activity on this flat up here on this ridge. Look at here. He was active this fall. Okay. See, and there's the bottom down there. So they're coming up here for a reason. We got to find out what's up here. What are they going to? So is this a breeding flat up in this area? But where? Where are they getting together in this area? I'm not sure. Let's keep going. Okay, we're going to be leaving that area. We're going to be heading back south again because a lot of these tracks, even though they're older, are heading that way. A few rubs are heading that way too. There's another old bed right here. Okay. So let's head down and see where they're taking us. Let the deer tell us where they're going. As I come off that north end, this whole flat up here seems to be the same, other than that north end was a lot of bedding in the back on the edge. But over here, that looks like the habitat's changing a little bit. Topography's, well, I think it's still flats, but something is changing over in that area. Let's head and see what's going on. You see some tracks heading that area too. As we go along, I'm getting closer to what that was. You won't believe it. It looks like an old, well, your guess is as good as mine, 10, 12-year-old cutover. They must have had a section back there at one time that they came to take the popples out. I'll be darned. Well, you know what that's going to be. We have to go on the edges and see if there's any rubs, if this is their main activity that they're staying up here for. I see some old, obviously some old trails here, old tracks. This probably is a heavy trail at one time, you know. But right now, see, that's the trouble up here, guys. You only get a couple deer at a time. that come through. It's not like there's groups. So it's hard late bow season in some of these areas because you may have one day, next day you don't. And there's only a couple of them that you're working with. Let's go see what that's all about. Well, here it is. This is probably their main draw. Now, see what I was showing you before? We're walking in all of that kind of area. But the only attraction they have here is, look at this cutover. Just one little area. Just makes enough attraction. Now, there again, most of us know the bucks will take place in this area. They'll start laying their scrapes. And that's what I want to show you. Now we begin the rubs. Isn't that amazing how that works? Look at this one over here. Unreal. Look at this. See? More and more sign. Oh, I'll be darned. Now, there again, do we consider looking at this next fall? So far, we got a smile on our face that you can't see, and I'm not going to show you. Let's see. Love this when you all of a sudden find something new. Rubs. See the rubs in there? Old historic rubs. Rubs. Now you don't know what size they are, but look at how there's just staging right here. Staging in here. Isn't that funny? Out and here it is. Bang. Just like that. Just like that. And look at, we're right on the edge of the garbage right there. See, and there's your open areas right up there. They're just stalking the does as they come through here. But there again, we all know too also that the does, they like to bed directly inside of those, like I said before. But out of the blue, never would have known this. You couldn't see it on any maps, anything like that. You just got to, you just got to hoof it and see what you run into. Now, like we were at in the beginning, there was nothing there. There was oaks they may be feeding on. But here is one attractive area. At least you can look at it that way. This attractive, and it doesn't look that big. I don't know why they came in. Maybe they were logging on the other end somewhere in this woods. Came up. Look at this. Oh, yeah. And it just keeps going. I see rubs all over in there. Oh, it's rough walk. I see rubs all over. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now see, and there it's open. Look at that. Just nothing but open country. And if you were coming up here, see what happens a lot of times, guys. These areas, people come up in here, they'll be in that open area and they'll say there's nothing here. And that's what I'm getting at. This would be the deciding point. Because I'm another hour back. And I thought right here, after this ridge, I'm ready to say, you know what? I'll take it to another point after I get home and think about it. Do I go to another step? But here, it's showing me right here what we got to work with. It's very nice so far. We'll follow up in the spring, but let's keep going and see what happens. As you can tell, my voice is pretty excited about this because, man, it's pretty quiet up here. And maybe this is why I got that buck not far from here. He was still here. Maybe a doe was in heat. Remember, that was probably about, well, after Thanksgiving was late this year. So another doe maybe came in heat. Why both of those bucks were here on a Tuesday and Wednesday. They may have had scent on one of them. Then it opens up again. We had to get back closer over there and see how big this actually is. Just keep going. More and more sign. Very nice. Nice to see. Definitely looking promising, I'll say that much. All over. Yeah, there's your typical scenario when you have a cutover area like this. This is what happens. But the point is that they have nothing else in this area. You got to remember, if you don't have any egg crops, you need something like this for an attraction. Actually, anywhere I look. Tore it all up. So see, even in December, guys, this is what you could do right now, middle of December. You could still scout for, even if it was an active area right now, I could bow hunt it, but I'm not seeing that. But I am seeing the future for next year. That's what it's all about. Just to get out there and see if you can find an area. And I'm sure a lot of you that are hunting, whether it be gun hunting or what, have something in your mind on areas that you want to check over. Well, this is what you do now. Let's continue. Well, right in the middle of this is the old logging road that they must have used. If you notice, it's not that wide. It must have been just one long strip. Huh. That they took out. Rubs. That's all this is. But just enough to keep them attracted. For some reason, see, they're drawn to this. And those beds, even to this day, those beds aren't that far from here. Now, as the snow gets deeper, yes, they probably will leave out of this area. Historical rubs down there, some back ones. But this is it. Unbelievable. But see, it's a long swath that goes through there. But there's rubs all in through here, in there too. You know? Huh. Now, let me ask you, would you come back here next year? I'll leave it at that. Can I get at this? That's always the next thing, access. Well, see, that's it. Look at that. And then it goes back up into the highlands. And out they go. Oh, see, okay, here's what I'm getting at. Now there's your couple hours worth. Now, do you continue on? I may come back and continue on just to get to know the layout of this land. But not now, because right now I'm already tired, and you start losing focus, and you just start wandering around, just looking around, and you lose in touch what you're actually looking for. Now, bottom line is, we went to the next ridge, an inch a little farther from gun season to this top ridge, right? And now I found what these bucks were doing around here. Now, after this point, you go home, you soak it in, think it over, and if we don't get much snow, I could always come back and go to the next areas over to see why they logged it or whatever it may be, just for the information of it. But another point that I forgot to tell you, when you get up in these areas like this, don't get hung up on the fact that you're in the middle of thousands of acres. Just focus right here. I'm focusing within an hour or two of where I started. That's it. I don't care beyond that because it just goes into vast land. These deer just may fade off. You can chase them forever. That's just how I do it. Next guy, he may look at it different. But now, see, I found this area, so now that's a start. So now what takes place, if you do something like this, you're going to go home. It'll be getting towards Christmas. You're going to have relatives, friends, or whatever it may be, and you're going to have that blank stare on your face. And either your wife or friends are going to say, what are you thinking of? What do you think I'm thinking of? This, because you found something and it was fresh in your mind. That's all I'm saying. Keep this in mind, guys. Lock it in and go home and think about it at your cabin, your house. Then go back after, if you can. I know it's easier said than done for some people. If you got just the weekend, you're going to have to hoof it. But at least take a break. Come back and think about where you were at and was it worth it or not. Now, if I wouldn't have found anything here, that would have been it. The show's over. I would have moved on to another area. But right now, I can go home and have that blank stare on my face. Hey, thanks for staying with me. Take care.